Hello, my great and wonderful people. We welcome you all once again to our today's episode of this program. Now with the Nation Voice, the voice where they reveal the secrets when they said the government and the politician that they said they cover. And on our today's program, we get these two videos we want quickly review to honor. One concerning still on the daughters when they say that they strongly they oppose the decision by the federal government say make them take go bring Chinese daughters, say they know they in support. Even the Honorable House of Representatives, the Senator, all of them say they not they in support. How come that the federal government they go bring all these Chinese daughters? We would seal the video during the process of this program. And another one, you know, ever since we dey talk, say, because of say our federal government don't take a lot, they don't they indebted to China. That is the reason why they say this offer they not feel reject them. We think say a joke. Now, for the process of this video, you will come to understand where the Honorable Minister of Health, where in name na Ihanire, open him mouth to say now offer say not be there. Ask for these very daughters from China. And another thing again, when he open him mouth talk say, when they ask and say, why this daughter can't even decide to say, now they will choose where they will go isolate themselves for inside Nigeria. Even when they say that they treat Nigerians wrong, why would not give them that right? You will see they hear the question when they say the answer when they give to that question. And let me leave una and make una watch this first video. I will come back for the conclusion.
We would find it quite embarrassing that after all that has been said by professionals, members of the Nigerian Medical Association and other professionals within the health sector, that the government should not bring in Chinese into Nigeria, that they ended up bringing Chinese into Nigeria, even though they are trying to talk about quarantining them or whatever. We feel that that is just, you know, an effort to disregard these professionals who have sacrificed themselves, who have sacrificed their time and know-how in managing this crisis. And of course, making sure that they render them redundant. Because if these ones have said, come, we are comfortable, we can manage this matter, why do we still have to bring them in? And the government feel that there is nothing anybody can do about it. So we lend our voice to the Nigerian Medical Association by asking government to immediately repatriate the Chinese that they have brought into this country so that our medical professionals can continue to do what they have been doing, and in the best way they have been discharging this responsibility. There is nothing any Chinaman have to offer us, especially at a time when all they are doing in China, which is their country against our people, is to oppress them. A lot of discriminatory activities are taking place as we speak in China. Ministers, heads of parastatals are telling us on a daily basis, even in press releases and press conferences, that they have disbursed money to Nigerians. Nigerians are asking, where are the money? Is it ghosts that have been given the money? I mean, for crying out loud, we have structures in this country that can help salvage this situation, that can partner with federal government to give palliative to Nigerians. We have the Nigerian Union of Journalists that can help coordinate the journalists, professionals, and make sure that they are fine. We have the NLC that again can reach out to their members. We have the religious bodies that can be contacted to do this. We have the student wing, which is of course the National Association of Nigerian Students, that can touch the very important segment of the society, the students who are the most vulnerable. And we are left uncatered for. Nobody is caring. Some will say, oh, Mr. President, in all fairness to the President, said the school feeding program should continue. But again, look at our pupils. They are home. Where is the school feeding program going to take place when the pupils are home? The university students, both the ones on campus and the ones that have gone home, are all hungry. And they are clamoring that they have not seen anything. And we are using this medium to tell the government that the needful should be done immediately. Otherwise, we will not be able to control our members or tell them what to do anymore. Already, the monies that have been given to this program has run into billions. And of course, they have already claimed that they have spent part of the money. We have not seen anything. Nigerians have not benefited this money. And we call for accountability and transparency in this process immediately. And in all of this, 72 hours is what we give to be done. Otherwise, we'll have no option other than to tell our members and Nigerians to begin the processes of civil disobedience, even from their homes and the homes of their parents where they are presently residing. because you cannot flog somebody and ask him not to cry. Nigerians are presently crying and they need succor. Nigerian students need succor, they need palliative, they need something to eat. Nothing is happening, and we want the federal government and the PTF to begin to look at this immediately. In less than 72 hours, actions will be taken by Nigerian students if this advice is negated.
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe say all of you don't watch that video. And as he talk, in less than 72 hours, I pray, even as the talker, may action follow on like that. Now my own prayer be that one, because it can't be say waiting with the talk, we not the follow on with action for Nigeria. That is why this very federal government, they just dey head bend. I not just understand this very regime. Just can't be like say, nah, immovable objects. As in, there's something. It looks so surprised to me personally. See, no matter everything when the BJ just dey go on, nobody even they make attempt. As in, everything just they like. I don't really understand. I don't know whether they be for my eyes the way when they be say it they be for my eye. No matter the cry, no matter the suffering, nothing, nobody, everybody just be like everybody just dey normal, whereas nobody they were. I see them talk say in less than 72 hours. May we wait, because me I believe, I pray our prayer be say may the federal government may they really react, may they make things work, because we know if we continue like this. I will leave una make una share una opinion with us for the comment section. As I leave una make una hear from Dr. Ihanire, the Minister of Health, waiting he use him mouth talk. I'll come back for the conclusion.
We're now being joined live from our Abuja studios by the Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ihanire. A pleasure having you with us.
Thank you. Good evening.
Now, we now have 318 cases, 70 discharged, but 10 deaths. Do we have cause to worry?
Well, at the moment, no, not much cause for worry. Let us say the rate of increase is a very slow incline, and a lot of it is very likely to be the backlog of cases that have been traced, and about 91% of the contacts have been traced. So the findings cause an initial increase in the number of cases that we have, and there's still room to watch and see.
Now, people seem to not have taken the lockdown seriously in places like Lagos and Abuja. We've seen quite a few defaulters. People say it's a hoax. So, do you have any plans to ensure that this message sinks in?
We have to increase our messaging. We have to also speak a lot with community leaders and religious leaders and the gatekeepers of society to understand the importance and the gravity of this disease. It is a disease that spreads extremely easily, extremely rapidly, and we have to continue to urge communities to not to congregate, to wash their hands thoroughly, to observe social distancing, and to take all those measures that have been advised in government, because the price of not taking these measures is very high indeed. So the leaders of communities should really take it seriously to advise their wards, and parents should advise their children that these injunctions from government are extremely important and should be taken should not be taken lightheartedly.
Dr. Ihanire, what role is the National Orientation Agency playing in this regard to ensure that the message really drives home?
Well, the National Orientation Agency is involving speaking to the public in the way that they usually do, through jingles, through public messaging, and giving messages as poignantly as possible so that it sinks in. Unfortunately, there are some people who tend to trivialize all of this because they haven't seen the effects. But those who have seen what is happening in other countries, particularly in Europe and the Americas now, will have a fear and know that if we act quickly and make a sacrifice now, we shall be able to avoid a lot of pain later on. So the message is needs to be driven home, not only by National Orientation Agency, but by all other agencies and by all persons and those who have the ears of the people.
Now let's look at the issue of the Chinese doctors. They picked where they will self-isolate, but if the reverse was the case, this can't happen in China. Can you tell us more about the arrangement and their isolation so far?
Well, what we know is that before they arrive, we give them the message that in our country, when you come in from outside, particularly from a high-burden country, you will isolate for 14 days. And we also asked the Nigeria Center for Disease Control to go and look at the isolation center even before they arrived. So that was done. And by the time they arrived, the message was also given that they had to isolate for 14 days and that the NCDC will have the liberty to check on them randomly to see that they are actually observing the self-isolation. But I must also say that the authorities told me that every single one of those who came had a pre-boarding check and they were all said to be negative. Nevertheless, we did tell them that our regulations require that they comply with the 14-day isolation.
But why were they allowed to pick where they will isolate?
Say that again, please.
Why were they allowed to choose where they will be isolated for those 14 days?
Oh, okay, because they have, yes, our understanding, they have a large compound, they have a facility, a medical facility. Remember that this is a giant construction company. They have been in Nigeria for 39 years and they have a lot of facilities in their compound. They told us that they have the ability to carry out this self-isolation. And we do allow self-isolation provided it has been inspected. And that is why we asked the NCDC to go and carry out this inspection prior to the arrival of the crew.
Honorable Minister, you applauded Nigerian doctors for doing well in handling this crisis. So why bring in the Chinese doctors at this time?
Well, in the first place, we didn't bring them in. I think the company in its own wisdom and probably in its own corporate responsibility, social responsibility, thought they should bring people to come and help us and advise. We didn't issue any invitation, but we are not unhappy that they're here because we can learn from their experience. These people have been through it. We want to start with a video conferencing with them even while they are in isolation so that we can try to learn from their experiences. There is nothing better than learning from someone who has actually suffered an event and been inflicted with an injury. So there are people there who are specialized doctors and nurses, and what we can learn from them, we learn. But I think the company in its own wisdom thought that we will benefit from this kind of initiative. We didn't really ask for it or say bring us this. In fact, we didn't know that this whole gift was coming from the company. We appreciate it nevertheless.
Finally, Dr. Hanire, what lessons have you learned from this pandemic vis-a-vis our healthcare system?
Tremendous lessons. The first lesson is that there is almost no healthcare system that is ready. You can see in review on television that a lot of health systems which are regarded as robust and almost invincible collapsed under the weight of the outbreak, and which has really shocked people, shocked everybody around the world. We have seen how in very advanced countries, patients who have been, patients had to lie on the floor because there were no more beds. They ran out of beds, ran out of ventilators, ran out of even simple things as masks. So the lesson is that one should be prepared. We should have stockpiles, and that is why even now we are very happy to have stockpiles. We want to continue to increase our stockpiles. We are grateful for what we got from donors, from everybody else, and we are getting another consignment from the United Nations very soon. The EU has also promised us something. We know that it's difficult to get commodities now. Even masks and ventilators are very hard to come by, and even if you place an order now, you have to wait a very long time. And because we do not know the magnitude of this outbreak, we put a lot of value on having a good stockpile of things that we shall require, including ventilators. We are getting 50 ventilators from the World Health Organization, and 35 ventilators are among the consignment that came from China a couple of days ago. So this addition of brand new machines will help us a lot. I'm doing an inventory of the intensive care specialists we have in the country to make sure that every state gets an intensive care specialist, a critical care specialist who will be able to use these ventilators. And I think about four or five states do not have an intensive care specialist. We shall see about deploying intensive care specialists to those states to be more ready to handle cases that prop up.
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe say all of you don't hear that one from the mouth of the Honorable Dr. Osage Ihanire when he be the Minister of Health. Now he be that one. From the whole explanation, all of us understand and say Nigeria don't do too much indebted and rely on foreign body. That's in we don't come too much day to that extent when it be say we ourselves we not even feel stand on our own anymore. So now the reason why it be say every nation of the world will continue to use Nigeria as a nation and be that one. We know they stand again as a sovereign nation. I don't use that word before now. I see they use them again. We are more or less like dependent nation. We not be independent because of all these things. Borrow here, depend on this one. EU, AU, United Nations, China. We not get confident on our own again. See the Minister of Health now they talk this one so. You know invite China, they just feel like say they have the capacity to come and help. Just a nation, which is to tell you now say. This one, as in, what is the vision when they give me from my mind now, the picture, say, as in almost half of Nigeria now, say, it belongs to China. Almost half of Nigeria investment and the wealth generating sources for Nigeria, it belongs to China. So they can just decide to enter Nigeria and do whatsoever they want. As in, at their own free will. Without the federal government not just get any resistance to them. I don't know whether somebody they get the clear picture now. They decide to come at their own free will, not be say una invite them. No, they just come. They feel say this time, now the time when they be say that yes, they will just come help now. You don't understand? Not be say nation invite them. This is another thing. Another picture be say. When this man open his mouth to as in when they tell Askan and say why these people decide to go self-isolation for their own places of choice. The first time, answer. The second time, the third time, the woman make sure say he hear and well. He want to can say they get a large compound because now a very big company, a nation. So the compound of a company now come big past the decision of the federal government. You as a just see the state where Nigeria they mess the bottom line when it be say Nigeria as a nation don't they? If they get a big company, they get a big large compound. So go as that one award. Before I understand, say they say individual or group, they're not the big past the federal government. But China now, as a company, don't big past the federal government of Nigeria. That is why they will decide to say now, Nigeria, take this one. Whether you like them or not. And another word, when it be say still mentioned again, say they not regret them, nothing bad for someone to learn from the experience of another person who don't go through the injury. China now don't go through and their own now don't they settle now as in now waiting in me now be that one now. China now as in this very COVID-19 not they China again. People not they die for China again. Their own case now don't settle. Some people they think say they go school as in their illiteracy, they smell. They smell before the eyes of the world. They smell. You say nothing bad for someone to learn from someone who don't go through injury before. Which is to say, China now, they don't battle their own, they don't true now. As it don't true. If it don't true now, be now, what they tell us be that one now? When it be say, China now don't even they afflict the injury for the black body, say now that they make their cases they rise. I don't understand. My dear people, as the situation of Nigeria just be like with the assault to injury, as in no way, no hope. No way, no hope. The head no good, the hand no good, the leg no good. He come from this one, no one even did better. He come from the other side, no one even did better. My dear people, I just say make I pass through this information to Nans. Make una see the situation, say Nigeria not be Nigeria again. And so now China, now in they guide us, now in they rule us. It just remains small. Made the president of China, Jia Xinshong, make it come. Make it come hang their flag for Abuja. That's all rock. So may we just know where we belong. All right, make una share una opinion with us on the comment section. I beg, help us share this message so that our people they will know say they know Nigeria not be Nigeria. Now Chishon country now we come there. As you do so, God Almighty will bless you all in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. We will see you again when we see you. Remember, we love you all. Bye-bye.